Happy Thursday, loves. I was attempting to get on Facebook Live on my computer, but was having technical difficulties. And if you have been following my content from the beginning, which I know some of you have been, you always know, since 2016, I've always had technical difficulties. Anyways, if you are joining me or watching me, my live video for the first time, thank you for checking it out. My name is Dani LeBerry. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and a happiness transformation coach. I have been a therapist for about 12 years now. I'm originally from Homestead, and when I started this journey, I had no idea I would end up at this point helping people who feel unhappy, unfulfilled, overwhelmed. But anyways, I know you're not here to check out what I have to say on that and myself. You're really here to listen to some keys to good mental health. So let's jump on it. So one thing I've noticed that is a foundation to staying grounded, staying leveled, regardless of what's going on around me, is having a schedule. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a rigid schedule. Even if it's just trying to go to bed relatively around the same time every night, including the weekends, trying to wake up relatively around the same time every morning, having some sort of structure, even when there may be nothing, even if there's nothing going on, always keeping that structure. Or keeping a schedule. And notice what works for you. For example, for some people, planners work for them. For other people, they prefer using their calendar on their phone. Another key to good mental health: finding time to quiet your mind. Practicing either, whether it's praying, meditating. I'm always telling my clients that our body has a tendency, hey AJ, thanks for joining me live. Our body has a tendency we tend to store stress. We tend to store, if you think in the primitive days, it was more about staying alive, right? Running from a tiger, running from a bear, hunting food. That was what stress was. Nowadays, our stress could be financial stress. It could be trying to make ends meet. It might be conflict with a significant other or conflict with an employer or your coworkers. Those things can be stressful, and we don't realize that our body absorbs that. If you happen to have Netflix, I always encourage people to check out the documentary Heal. It does a very good job into explaining this and breaking this down. Another thing that I notice affects our mental health: what we eat. Gut health. Google it. The things that we eat, not only, it impacts us on when I eat too much pizza, too much cheese tends to break out my face. If I'm not drinking enough water, I notice that I'll feel more tired more often. So notice the things that you're eating. Connecting with nature. Go outside, take a walk. If you have kids, bring them with you. Taking some time for yourself to just take some deep breaths, walk outside, whether you can go to a park, maybe just walking just up and down your street, just getting outside of your apartment, your house, and getting some fresh air, connecting with nature. Another key to good mental health: being present. Hey, Joseph, thanks for joining me. I'm so happy to see you on my new page. I know you always follow my stuff on my Affinity Care page, so I appreciate you joining me. Being present is another really good key to mental health. Sometimes we worry about the future a lot, aka future tripping. So instead of worrying so much about the future or even dwelling on the past, but I know right now, hi Sharon, thanks for joining me. I know right now, I think what's more prevalent on people's mind could be worrying about the future, staying as present as possible. Tidying up social media. I notice that when we don't realize, we tend to scroll mindlessly on our Facebook, on our Instagram. Notice what kind of social media you're following. Are you following people who tend to complain a lot, who vent a lot? And venting is okay, but just be mindful of the things that you're taking in and reading. And my last key to good mental health: have grace with yourself. we have a tendency to beat ourselves up. Some days you might not feel like doing anything. And that's okay when you have those days. Be easy and have grace with yourself. Not beating yourself up over, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I should be here, I should be there. Hey, Jonathan, thanks for joining me. So these are I've noticed are some foundation pillars to good mental health. Schedule, having structure, finding some quiet time for yourself, whether that looks like meditating, whether that looks like praying, paying attention to how much your body is storing up stress. And if you haven't already seen the documentary on Netflix called Heal, check it out. It breaks that down a little bit more. Pay attention to the food you're eating. Are you drinking enough water? The things that we eat do affect our health. David, thanks for joining me. The food we eat, connecting with nature. Go outside, take a walk. If you have kids, bring them with you. Being present to the moment, not worrying about the future, but being as present as you can to what's right in front of you. Tidying up your social media, cleaning up and I'm not saying unfriend people, because sometimes family members, they take those things personal, but you can unfollow. Pay attention to the things that you're following on social media. Do you notice that you follow a lot of negativity, complaining, things of that nature? And the last key that I mentioned was have grace with yourself. AJ says, I'm trying so hard not to beat myself up. I feel like I'm improving that way. Yes, exactly. And that's the thing. Acknowledge yourself. Thank you for mentioning that, AJ. Take some time and acknowledge yourself for little things, little steps, baby steps. So I hope that these tips helped. If they did, please feel free to share it with loved ones. Again, my name is Dani LaBerry. You can contact me at Dani, DANI, at DaniLaBerry.com. Thanks for watching and have a great night.